It was supposed to be a regular Monday morning Zoom meeting at Skyline Innovations, a dull weekly check-in. 42 employees logged in from across the country. Most had their cameras on, some muted, others half asleep, sipping coffee. CEO Jordan Hale was mid-sentence, reviewing quarterly projections, when a sudden high-pitched scream shattered the flow. Everyone froze. The scream echoed again, longer, more guttural. A black screen replaced one participant's feed. A name remained, Danielle Langford. It stayed silent. The meeting descended into chaos. Was that Danielle? Did someone fall? Call her? Multiple employees fumbled to message and dial her. Then someone gasped. A muffled sound. Someone else said, "I think I saw something." In the corner of her screen, before it went black, a shadow. But the recording later showed something stranger. Danielle's video wasn't even being highlighted at the time of the scream. Instead, the camera had auto-focused on Craig Warner, who was nodding along, unaware his screen the largest due to Zoom's auto layout. Danielle's window, tiny, background noise muted by the time police reached her apartment. It was too late. Danielle Langford was dead, and 41 people had watched but seen nothing. Danielle Langford was one of the brightest team leads at Skyline Innovations, 29, driven, and a bit of a loner. She never missed a meeting, never turned her camera off until today. Her screen went black at 9:42 a.m., 13 minutes after the meeting started, and 3 minutes before someone noticed the scream. Detective Marla Ridge was assigned the case. When she arrived at Danielle's apartment, the scene was unnerving. Danielle lay on the floor, face down, headphones still plugged into her laptop. Blood pooled around her temple. No signs of forced entry. No signs of a struggle. Her laptop screen still glowed. Zoom was open, frozen in time. Recording on participants 42. Host, Jordan Hale. Marla watched the video. It was haunting. So many faces and boxes, some fidgeting, some typing, some bored. But the critical moment, the scream, came when Danielle's camera had cut out. Only Craig Warner's face was featured by Zoom's autofocus. Craig, sitting in a sunlit office, yawning. Nothing unusual. But Marla's instinct twitched. Danielle didn't just die. She was murdered during a live call, and no one saw it happen? Except maybe someone did. Someone who was quiet. Someone who hadn't said a single word since the call ended. Detective Marla reviewed the participant list again. Names were familiar, mostly regulars from the company, but one stood out. Elliot Graves. His camera had been off, microphone muted. No messages in chat. Not a single word spoken during the entire meeting. She called Jordan Hale, the CEO. "Who is Elliot Graves?" she asked. There was a pause. "He's IT support. Remote. Works nights usually. Barely talks, keeps to himself." Marla raised an eyebrow. She pulled up the Zoom log. Elliot had joined the meeting exactly 1 minute before the scream and logged off 30 seconds after Danielle's feed cut. Strange. She tracked Elliot's IP login. It didn't match the one listed on his work profile. Instead of his apartment in upstate New York, the IP was from an unknown proxy bouncing through several countries. When she called him, no answer. She checked with HR. He hadn't logged in again since the meeting. Back at the apartment, Danielle's smart speaker had stored a snippet before the scream. A voicemail, low-pitched, distorted, whispered. She shouldn't have said anything. Marla felt a chill. What was Danielle planning to reveal? And why was Elliot hiding now? Danielle's laptop had already been seized as evidence. The tech team combed through her recent activity, mails, chats, drafts. One file stood out. A folder, titled SKI Confidential, created the night before her death. Inside, Detective Marla found screenshots, audio recordings, and one partially written email. The email draft was addressed to Jordan Hale, the CEO. "Jordan, I can't ignore this anymore. What's happening with the client data is criminal. If something happens to me," the email ended mid-sentence. No sign it had been sent. Attached were several shocking images. Internal company dashboards, reports marked classified, and logs showing that customer data from Skyline Innovations had been sold quietly, rerouted through hidden servers. Marla froze. Danielle had discovered a data leak, a criminal-level breach, but who else knew she was preparing to expose it? Elliot, the silent it guy, was the most likely to monitor internal logs. He would have known if Danielle was snooping around, and if she was about to blow the whistle, he had motive. But what if someone higher up gave the order? Marla realized this wasn't just about one woman's murder, it was a cover-up. A big one. Detective Marla requested a private interview with Jordan Hale, the polished, ever-composed CEO of Skyline Innovations. He welcomed her into his glass-walled office with a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. "Danielle's death is tragic," he said, folding his hands. "She was talented, sharp, a real asset." Marla noted his words. Carefully chosen, detached. She placed a printout of the draft email on his desk. He stared at it, blinked once. "Where did you get this?" "From Danielle's laptop." "She knew about the data leak." "Jordan, she was trying to tell you or maybe confront you." Jordan's jaw tightened. "Just slightly." "You think I killed her?" he said calmly. "I think someone did, and whoever it was didn't act alone." She watched his reaction. Cool. Too cool. I had no idea she was looking into that. If she was, double quotes. He leaned back. Then someone may have had reason to silence her. He offered a name, Craig Warner, man whose face filled the Zoom screen during the murder. He's been under pressure, handled server access. Maybe he panicked. Marla left with more questions than answers. Jordan had stayed calm, too calm, and now. Craig Warner's name was on her list. Craig Warner was Skyline's head of security. Infrastructure, a quiet man with a clean record and years of loyalty to the company. Marla arranged a meeting at the precinct. He looked exhausted, his eyes shadowed by sleepless nights. I didn't kill Danielle, he said the moment he sat down. But your screen was spotlighted when it happened, Marla said. And your system logs show you had access to the same data Danielle discovered. Craig ran a hand through his graying hair. Yes, I saw the leak. I was told not to interfere. Told by whom? He hesitated. His lips parted then closed. I can't say, Marla leaned in. Can't. Or won't. Craig swallowed hard. You don't understand. This goes beyond me. Danielle wasn't the first to find out. Another developer, Samir, vanished 6 months ago. No one looked into it. Marla stiffened. She hadn't heard of Samir. Craig's voice dropped. I tried to warn Danielle. I sent her a message anonymously, she replied, saying she was going public. Hours later, she was dead. Where's your phone? I lost it yesterday, he said too quickly. A lie. And Marla knew. Craig was scared. Not just of arrest, but of who might be watching next. Detective Marla Ridge dug into the name Craig mentioned. Samir Khanna, a former developer at Skyline Innovations. On paper, he'd resigned 6 months ago and moved abroad. But when Marla called the forwarding number listed in HR records, it was disconnected. His social media had gone silent the same week. No forwarding address. No travel records. Nothing. It was as if he'd vanished into thin air. She visited his last known address. The apartment manager said Samir left in a rush. Rent was paid for 3 extra months, but he never returned. Inside, the place was untouched. Clothes in the closet, dishes in the sink. His laptop was missing, but a single sticky note remained on the fridge. Just 3 words, scribbled in black. Marker. They're watching everything. The handwriting matched Danielle's notes. Now it was clear. Danielle had picked up where Samir left off. She was about to blow the whistle on something massive and someone made sure she didn't. Marla connected the dots. A whistleblower disappears. A second is murdered. A third, Craig, is silenced by fear, and the one name common in all employee complaint records. Elliot Grange, the IT director, the one person with access to everyone's screens. Elliot Grange had worked in Skyline's IT department for over a decade, always quiet, always behind the scenes. No one questioned him because he made their problems disappear. Literally. Detective Marla requested access to his system logs. At first glance, they seemed clean. But her forensic team dug deeper and found something chilling. Elliot had remote admin access to employees' webcams and microphones, technically illegal, but cleverly masked as troubleshooting permissions. He could see, hear, and even record without anyone knowing. One log caught Marla's attention, time-stamped 9:41 a.m., the minute before Danielle was killed. Elliot had connected to her camera directly, not through Zoom, through a backdoor program. Same program he used to connect to Brady Niles' camera seconds later. Elliot had been watching, maybe more than that. Marla ordered a warrant and rushed to his home. The place was dark, eerily still. Inside, monitors lined the walls, multiple screens showing split recordings from employee meetings, including the Monday call. And there, paused on screen, was Danielle's final frame, her eyes wide in terror. Someone behind her. A blurry silhouette, but it wasn't Elliot. He had recorded the murder, but someone else had committed it. Detective Marla froze the video on Danielle's final moment, frame by frame. The blurry figure behind her wore dark clothes, a hood pulled tight, but the shoulders, posture, and outline were distinctly familiar. She enhanced the footage. The shape of the jaw, the reflection in Danielle's screen showed a face. Partial, but visible, and chillingly recognizable. Jordan Hale, the CEO. He had claimed to be home, in another city, during the Zoom meeting. But now, here he was inside Danielle's apartment at the time of her death. A lie unraveling in real-time. Elliot, when cornered, finally cracked. I didn't kill her, he whispered. But Jordan knew Danielle was going public. He told me to monitor her, to make sure she didn't share anything. That morning, he told me to keep the cameras focused away, said he'd handle it quietly. I didn't know what he meant. But you watched him kill her, Marla said, coldly. I didn't know he was there until it happened, Elliot muttered. By the time I realized, it was done. And I was already complicit. Jordan had used everyone, Craig Elliot, even the Zoom algorithm, to orchestrate a perfect alibi. But now, Marla had proof. Next step, arrest. Detective Marla Ridge stormed into Skyline Innovations later that afternoon, arrest warrant in hand. Jordan Hale was mid-interview with a news outlet, playing the grieving CEO. The moment he saw her badge, his face paled. You're under arrest for the murder of Danielle Langford, Marla said. The cameras turned to him. No time to lie now. You have no proof, he spat. Marla smiled. cool and steady. We have footage from Danielle's laptop and from your own IT director, who's ready to testify. Jordan froze. He was let out in cuffs as employees watched in stunned silence. Whispers rippled across the open office space. For months, they'd suspected something dark lurked beneath the company's surface now. It was exposed. Later that evening, Marla uploaded a secure file to the Federal Cybercrime Unit. Danielle's email draft, Samir's missing person report, Elliot's testimony, Craig's records, and the damning video. Brady Niles was found safe the next day, hiding, terrified, but alive. He agreed to testify, finally breaking his silence. Danielle Langford's murder had been meant as a cover-up. Instead, it became a confession caught on camera, just not the one anyone was watching. Justice didn't need to be loud. It just needed to be recorded.